Ending this. This is the end.
Alright everyone, JB here. We're back with another Dragon Ball Z video on the channel today. Now today, gonna be dropping some predictions for pretty much the rest of this year. We have about a couple months left in 2025. I made a similar video earlier this year for like the first, more of a, I would say like a wish list for like certain characters I would like to see, and some of those characters actually came out. So, we're gonna kind of go in here, just throw some predictions. These are just based on some characters I would like to see as well. I'm gonna be doing this based off of just like certain tags, or certain sagas. So keep it, simple. So with that being said though, if you're new around here, consider leaving a like on the video and join the channel. Be very much appreciated. Also, I made a post about starting a 20-day just upload, kind of challenge. I don't really do things like that, as often on the channel, but I feel like, the consistency needs to come back. So that's something we're gonna kind of start doing. Probably, I guess, announce it for this video. That's what we're gonna be doing pretty much. So, if your boy slats off one day, someone call me out in the comment section, please. Now, first things first, before we talk about our predictions, this is going to be a little bit of a lengthy video. We did basically get revealed. I don't want no copyright from that. So we basically got revealed this little teaser, this little hint. It's obvious, some form of a GT campaign is coming soon. So I'm guessing we're done with the LOE campaign. Obviously, it's Vegeta because, well, you can tell by the pose right here from this hint, and then you also can tell he says exactly the same words that he says in the actual GT episode when he first goes Super Saiyan 4. So we're obviously getting the Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta coming next week on the 27th, and honestly, it feels a bit too soon. It feels a bit too soon for us to get an Ultra out of all characters, and I don't know. But hopefully the guy isn't toxic, but hopefully he's good. That would be, hopefully that's to be expected. Now, moving on to the predictions. First tag that I want to kind of look at is titles from the movies. We did just get Cooler, but let's be honest. Cooler has amounted to nothing. Like, honestly, he's not even on the top 10 list. If we're being just I guess friendly, we could put him at the number 10 spot just because he has 2 extra lives. But let's be honest, for a defense type character, he already doesn't have some of the utility that he needs to survive. And then he doesn't, if you're going to make him 2 lives, you might as well just make him offensive, right? He doesn't even have any kind of good offensive capabilities either. So hey, they kind of fumbled that. But besides that, movies hasn't gotten too many buffs, I believe. Not since I think it was either Beast Gohan or Chiku. Like, besides like the plaid clips that we got, for Super Gogeta, but like the actual unit that got dropped, I'm pretty sure those guys were the last 2, one of the 2. So when we look at movies, right, I do have a couple that I have pulled up I want to look at. Always, we're going to be using Dokkan as a reference and everything. Now, the thing is with movies, I want to see a Super Gogeta, a fusion of Super Gogeta. This was something talked about in the anniversary itself. Dokkan has a lot of these concepts already out, obviously, because they're they're pretty much the first mobile game. They've been out for 10 years now, so it's crazy to think about it. But this is definitely doable. Obviously, the fusion mechanic is something that they've already implemented on a lot of different units, and I would love to see this. This could potentially be something for Legends Fest. So if it comes as a monthly LF, it would be surprising, but I do think this is more of a, hype worthy type of character for the festival. They always save at least one fusion for the festival. If not, you're going to see one pretty much after that pretty soon. So you also got them. I think I have something else pulled up right here. Yeah. So we have Berku, LF Berku. Now we do have this guy in the game itself. We have a 1% sparking of him. Besides that, I don't think we have anything else. Because if we go down here and look a little bit, We do have a 1% sparking right down here. Yep. So this guy right here got released like, I believe it was a couple years ago, probably like 2 years ago, maybe 3. But besides that, I don't think we even got a free to play character of him. So I could be wrong, but yeah, we can definitely see him as potentially as, I would say, like an LF character, like a monthly LF. Would he be worthy of like an anniversary or festival hype? That I don't think so. It just depends, because we did get Sand Saga for this anniversary, and as much as people were, you know, talking about how that wasn't hype worthy for the anniversary, the team kind of went, you know, it kind of goes together. You see Kaioken and Goku, he's been ran a lot on certain teams, especially with Namek Goku, you know, and Full Power Frieza, because of the utility and all that stuff that he has syncing, you know, synergizing with that team. I don't see Vegeta as much. He does have some you know, decent utility in his kit as well. But besides that, you know, I don't see him as much as Kaioken and Goku. But at the end of the day, they're still usable. You know, they're still on the top 10 list for characters you're going to use. So I would love to see it. You know, I want Goku to come into the game. He could be a monthly LF. I'm fine with that. You know, I feel like we're going to see maybe a sliders from the movies campaign before the anniversary starts. Not anniversary, oh my god, the festival. We just got done with the anniversary. Your boy's still trying to get used to it, because they need to bounce back. So it's obvious they were probably going to a GT campaign right now, going in as in next week, because we're getting Ultra Super Saiyan 4 not Gogeta, oh my god, Vegeta. It's late, guys. Your boy's tired. I'm sorry. You're gonna hear a couple of those, but yeah, we're getting him, and we're also going to talk about that as well, because I do think we're going to get at least one LF, because they're releasing the Ultra to start off the campaign. We've never sort of had that before. This is something new, so hopefully he's good. I will hope so. I would say besides that, we could also potentially, we'll go over here to the list. Now this one I feel like is definitely festival worthy. This is from the Cooler movie, from the Metal Cooler movie. Taz, Super Saiyan, Goku, and Vegeta. Now, yes, it's another Saiyan buff, it's another Goku and Vegeta, but let's be honest, you know, besides these guys and a couple other characters, you can't go wrong with it, right? This was a talked about unit, I would say, for the anniversary as well, potentially. Going back to last year, people were talking about this, I believe, too. You know, people were coming up with different characters and schemes they can run for these guys, and honestly, I'm waiting on it. I'm honestly waiting on it. I'm hoping they do something with it. Could I be right if they drop this sometime in between this year? Maybe so. So far, I've been right on like maybe 2 characters that they released so far throughout this year. So I've been asking about them guys, but these guys are the ones I've been asking about. Now, Goku, you know, he got released last year. We did get one. He did get a plat earlier this year, so I don't think I see these guys getting dropped this year. It is another tag character, but at the end of the day, this is something that was also talked about. People talked about it. We got Goku last year. Yes, that's nice, but we still can get these guys right here, and they can potentially be. Well, we technically already have a Fusion Gogeta for the movie right here. So these guys can be just, you know, just a tag Super Saiyan God standalone, or maybe they can transform as well. That's a potential thing they can do. They got like a special mechanic where they transform after maybe like certain timer counts, or maybe after you use like a couple cards, right? So kind of build up the gauge and all that stuff. But I honestly want to see them in the game. I'm waiting on it. The day they drop this, your boy's probably gonna drop about 50k crystals. So we're gonna move on to the movie bosses side, or just movies itself for Legends. Now for this one, I only have maybe like a couple picks, maybe just one, if I'm being honest. So only one I'm really looking for really is an Ultra Super Broly, because we don't have him in a variant of that. So we can use this guy right here as an example. Some form of a Ultra, because we do have, I'm pretty sure, we have the Super, not Super, but the Z Broly. We have the Super Broly as an LF. We have Z Broly as an LF. The only one that's missing is an Ultra Broly as, you know, from the Super. Yeah, this guy's right here. That's from the Dragon Ball Super. So hopefully they do something with this, right? He could be a standalone full power Broly, or he could be like, he could start off in this form right here where he was just Super Saiyan and then he transforms into Super Saiyan full power Broly. That's up to them. They can do either one. But this is this is probably like the only villain from the heroes. Not heroes, but from the movies that I would love to see, because let's be honest, you know, I don't know about you personally, but I've been this is another guy that I feel like that needs some respect in the game, because they released the Broly Zenkai. You know, it wasn't bad. You know, this guy's Zenkai wasn't bad, and then they released this Platypus, I remember, for the Ultra Broly, and you know, it helped him out, but it didn't do much, right? Because after a while, the guy got pushed out the meta. Same thing for this guy. He just seemed like they just was supposed to be like a damage type character and didn't have no type of disrupt or something, restore health, something to keep him alive long enough in the game. So I'm really hoping they don't fumble a new Broly if they do drop one. But besides that, let's go ahead and skip over to another tag I'm gonna look at, and that's gonna be Hybrid Saiyans. I'm mentioning this because we know hybrids, or just Gohan specifically, gets buffed pretty frequent. Now normally that was with Toshi being like, you know, the main person to reveal the characters and everything. Now he still has a say so in these things, so we know that he's probably his favorite character by now, Gohan. It's been a while, I believe, since we got a new one. I'm pretty sure our last one was probably the future Gohan and Trunks, because before that we had Festival, you know, we had Beast Gohan, and then yeah, and we might have got a free to play character too after that, so I could be wrong. But Hybrid Saiyans, there's a couple options here that I want to mention real quick, because we also have these guys from GT, from the Legacy of Heroes. So we could possibly see a standalone, I would say, you know, LF Kid Goku Jr. or maybe a Vegeta Jr. But we probably wouldn't get Vegeta because we're already getting a Vegeta in the Ultra variant. So I'm going to rule that out for right now. So we could probably get a standalone LF for him. We'll love to see it in the game. You know, I don't think we even have them in the game itself. So that's another LF option for them if we want to go that route. And then we also have, I wanted to mention, let's see, some form of maybe a Fusion Gotenks LF. Don't have this guy in the game at all. I don't think we have him. Well, we do have him right here as a standalone. I know we just got him last year. I might be asking for a lot, but we've seen it where some characters would get buffed, like the same character but just different, the way that they present them in terms of how their kit works and all that stuff. You know, it's been a year. I don't think we're gonna get a Gotenks this year, but if we do, it's gonna probably be a fusion mechanic type of Gotenks. Maybe even it wouldn't make sense if they made it a revival, but I feel like it could possibly be a revival. You know, they implement some type of new mechanic all the time, trying to make it, you know, flashy and new and everything, and sometimes it's good, you know, for certain units. Gohan, we gotta mention Gohan, because like I said, Gohan is Toshi's favorite character. We know Tani is the one that's, you know, doing the reveals and everything, but Toshi still has a say so because he's still a producer. So this is from the Broly movie, from when he got resurrected, and I would love to see it in the game. Give it to us. This is something, especially that the ending scene with the family Kamehameha, that could be such a just a beautiful LF. And correct me if I'm not wrong, I think we have this guy as a sparking variant in the game, if I can find him. But yeah, I think it's this guy right here. He got a Zenkai some time ago, a while ago. So there's a lot of things they can do if you know, even though he's part of movies, you know, they might do like maybe a campaign where they're buffing maybe hybrids, and he's just a part of movies, so that's another buff to movies as well. You never know, right? One last thing, I think I wanted to mention I was thinking to mention GT since we're already getting, like I said, this video is gonna be long, so if you made it to this part, I appreciate you. You know, you're a real one. Only thing I wanted to mention here is probably like maybe one or two characters. The only other thing that I possibly see us getting is a Fusion Gogeta. Yes, like I said, we got Gogeta last year, but like I said, they sometimes do these campaigns where they start just hyper buffing a lot of different characters. We can see some form maybe of a Fusion Gogeta. Maybe not this year, but if he does drop, this would be a festival worthy, you know, I would say unit. You know, everyone loves Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. So besides that, I don't really see anything else, you know, worthy. Normally I would mention, but we're already getting Vegeta. You know, obviously Goku is another option, the full power Goku, because the one that we have currently, I wouldn't even think that it is an actual full power Goku. You know, it just feels like they just slapped the title on it. So that being said though, you know, we're pretty much almost done with the video. This is, like I said, this is my last option. I feel like they should either give us an LF or an Ultra variant of this guy. It's one of the two, but if they give us an Ultra, it's definitely going to be festival worthy, and I'm hoping they drop that during the festival since they're already giving us Ultra right now. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. So just a couple options I want to throw out there. If I had to throw one more in there, I would probably say game originals, like for the game itself. Shallot, this is another option. Hey, you know, game originals, they did give them some of them a plat equip, I think for Shallot and Goku and Bardock, but we need this guy in the game as a summable character, or give us Giblet and Shallot as a tag. You know, maybe they confuse. I know I've said it a couple times already with some of these characters, but that's kind of what some of them have. You know, that's kind of how the mechanic works. So they can do that, or they can just give us just a tag unit of them. You know, at least we'll be getting one of them. But if they give us a fusion mechanic, we're getting a two for one deal, where, you know, they're fusing into this guy, and at the same time we still have those guys as a tag unit. So hey, that's what I'm thinking. There's also other options for game originals, but I'm not gonna, you know, the video's already long, so I'm not gonna mention it. Sorry guys if I'm stumbling over my words. Like I said, it's pretty late, bear with me. But like I said, had to get this video out for you guys. Appreciate all the love and everything on the recent ones. That being said though, as always, everyone have a blessed day. It's your boy JB. I'm out.